Time for the Plym Piecemakers demonstration video once more, and I thought we needed a change from the Modern Guild tutor boxes, and a few people had asked about the Crafty UK templates. Now I've just got back from the retreat with Andy at Crafty UK when I did Storm at Sea, and so I thought it might be an idea for us to have a look at the Storm at Sea template set. So the one I'm going to be demonstrating is the 10-inch version in the double diamond layout, and the instructions come in the box, and I'm going to start with the centre block, and the centre block is a square within a square and then inside another square, so it's very easy. With the Storm at Sea, it's a really good idea for you to plan your colours and your layout before you get started. I'm cheating a bit because I'm continuing with the one I started at the retreat, so my plan is here, and what you can see on this one is that we've got a yellow square in the centre block, and then in the diamond blocks we've got purple and pink on a background of the turquoise. Now those are the only 4 colours used in this one, and the Storm at Sea changes completely depending on how many colours you use and where you put them. And so on mine I have used yellow running through the centre block, and on my other version, which is here somewhere, this is the larger version with the 12-inch block, but on this one it was more of a one that you needed to plan and lay out, because there's 5 colours in addition to the background fabric, and that means that each block can only go in one place, so planning the layout on that one's far more important than on the one I'm doing today. The double diamond version involves making one block which is then repeated, or in the way I've done it anyway. So this block, which has got the 4 diamond units, 4 corner squares and a centre block, that's it, and that just gets repeated. In this case it's 9 times because that's a 9 patch. So the instructions tell you what to do, and we're making the centre block first. If you turn to the instructions where it says the centre block, you have a template C shape which you use to cut the centre square. So you cut that one out, and then using strips of the background fabric, in my case turquoise, you cut those 2 inches wide, and I've cut those 2 pieces the same width as the square. Now I've joined those either side and I have pressed it, and the next step then will be to sew more 2-inch strips either side of that. Now I've cut these slightly longer than that to give you a bit of room for error there, So I've cut those 3.5 inches by 2 inches. So I just need to cut those to sew those top and bottom. So I'll do that, and then I can show you the next step. Join the other 2 pieces. You take template D, you line the square that's marked there on your square. There's some little dots which you get in the corners, and then cut off the excess fabric. And that will give you your square on square unit for the centre. So the next step then, we take, in my case, because of the layout I've got, I'm going to join these 2 strips, one either side here, and these are 2.5 inches deep, the strips, and I've cut 2 of them the same width as this template, and they'll go either side of the block. Now, depending on your colour choices would depend what other 2. On mine it will be one of the pink fabric and one of the purple fabric here, and I'll cut those slightly longer to give me a bit of a room for. Here we are, here's my almost finished centre block. I've added the yellows either side and the pink and the purple top and bottom, and now I've pressed it. So the next stage again is to find the template, which is the biggest one in the set. There is template E. You see it's got a curly whirly line down the one side. Nobody's expecting you to cut on the curly whirly line. You line it up again. You've got the markings there for your centre square, so you can lay that on there, and you can see that the square is marked there, and also this marking here for your centre block. And again, what we're going to do is trim off the excess fabric. This time you need to move the template for each side. So that's my centre block, and so we've done the centre block, and the next we need to do 4 corner blocks. We have a tiny whiny little template here, number G or letter G, and that's what we'll use to cut the yellow centre square with. And then we use template F to trim up our centre unit, and then we'll take template C to complete the block. So those are the 3 templates we need for the corner squares. The centre unit for the corner block, I've joined the 4 pieces to the yellow square. So take the template F and mark there's some dots to help you. The centre square will line up on the unit, and we'll trim off excess fabric. To give the little centre unit. Either side of that we'll be sewing 1.5 inch wide strips to there, and there'll be a purple one and a pink one. So we need to join those, join the yellow ones top and bottom, and then join the pink and the purple after that. Mark up, follow the markings on the square. The 4 little dots will arrive in the corner of the centre block there. Let me just trim off the excess fabric. So there's another little corner square and one there. If we look at the block, which is this unit here, we've now made the centre unit and 2 of the corner blocks, so we need to make the diamond units and the 2 corners, which will go over here and here. These ones will have the turquoise in the centre and the purple or the pink, and then contrasts going around the outside. But it's exactly the same as making this little corner unit. On the block there's 2 corners that are the same, and then there's 2 other versions. So once you've got it to this stage, you use template F, line up the square in the centre of the template with the square in the centre of the block, and then trim off the excess fabric. It helps if you put a nice sharp blade in your rotary cutter, and then you haven't got to keep going back and trimming it. So once you've got that stage, they're trimmed up, you need to add the outer border, and on the pink unit it will have 3 turquoise pieces and 1 purple, and on the purple unit it will have 3 turquoise pieces and 1 pink, and on the yellow one there will be 2 yellow, 1 pink and 1 purple, the same as that now. So again, see the square inside the template, we need to match that with the centre square here, and then trim off the excess fabric. So we've got another little corner unit made, and we'll do the same with the next one. another one. Just thought I would go through the small corner blocks once more. So I've got all the bits cut out. I'll just bring them into view. So for the small corner blocks, you need your centre square, which is made using the smallest of the templates. This one, which is block G. So yeah, so you make one of those for your centre square. Then either side of your centre square you need to have a small piece about 1.5 inches deep, same width as the block, and then we'll surround that with a slightly wider one to give you a bit of room for error, and I always need that. And then once we've joined those and trimmed those back using the next template, which is template F, then we will put another round of blue with one purple one for the corner, because that's the design I'm choosing. And then we'll trim it with the final template for this block, which is block C. So I'll get sewing, and we're now going to trim this block using block F, lining up the centre square. Put the bits in the bin. So now we come to the outer row. So we got 1, 2, and then 3 and 4. So that's that one. So this one first. Give that one a little press. And then we're going to trim this one now with the template C. Line up the square on the centre square. Move then. And there he is. So you go and put the storm at sea block. We need to make the 4 diamond units, and so there are 2 templates left in the set, these 2 pieces. So we will cut some diamonds with this, and then we will cut some strips to go around the outside, and in a similar way to the square and square, we'll then trim them off after we've cut them. So we cut a diamond, diamond, we need to surround the diamond with the colour combination for the block that we're doing. So with the purple diamond, we're going to have 3 turquoise and 1 pink strip. It's really important when you do the diamond block that you lay it out and stitch them where they need to go, because it's very easy on this one to sew them to the wrong side, and it doesn't work if you then end up with the wrong piece in the wrong place. You can't always just flip the block over and it'll be okay. So I've cut my strips out ready, so it's important now that we sew these in the right order. So that's the colour placement that we need for this particular block, and this is really on this diamond block. It's important that you check with your diagram that you've done to make sure you've got your colours in the right places. So to start with, we're going to sew these pieces together. I'll start with this one here. So I find it easier to start sewing from the point of the diamond down to the bottom. So I've sewn my first strip onto my diamond block, and the second step is to then trim this so that it's back to the straight edge there, and then we can sew the next strip onto here. Like that, and then we'll do the same on the other side of the diamond. On this diamond, once again, I've sewn 3 pieces on now, but after attaching this third piece, I just need to trim that one back again so that it's nice and straight there, and then we can add the final turquoise strip onto this one. On my chair. So to do this, you need the final template in the set, which is this one with the oblong with the diamond in it, and again there's markings on it to match up, and we just need to trim off the excess. This would be a lot easier if I got my circular cutting board back from over the other side of the room. So there's the diamond block. So that's the instructions for making all the blocks, so I'll carry on. Obviously it's about using the correct colours and referring to your chart that you did at the start, and then once you've made all of the different blocks, you join the top row together, join the pieces for the middle and then the bottom, and then join those 3 rows together, and you've got your block. So today we're going to continue now with this Storm at Sea quilt, and as you can see, I have done most of the blocks. I've got 3 units, the big centre units here. So here you can see the Storm at Sea block, and this consists of the centre block, the corner blocks, which are the same thing but smaller, and the diamond blocks. Now each Storm at Sea block, if you're doing the double diamond layout, will look exactly like, you know, in this layout, with 4 diamond blocks, a centre unit and 4 corner squares. Now if you just wanted to do the storm at sea without the double diamonds, then the block would be that, which would then be repeated throughout the quilt. But as I say, this one is the double diamond layout, and so it consists of blocks made up of these units. Now the units change on your colour design, that's why Andy's put in the colouring sheet with every pack of templates, so that you can plan your quilt, how many colours you want to use and where they're going to go. So I just need to stitch these together. I've got 3 more centre units to make, and then I'll start assembling the blocks and joining the rows of the quilt together. So I'm ready to start piecing this centre unit for the storm at sea, and I've got all the pieces cut out that I need. The centre square, 2 strips of the turquoise the same width as the square, and they're 2 inches. The same 2 inches, but this time I've cut them a little bit longer, so they're is it ½ inch longer than those, so that they just give you a bit of room for manoeuvre. And then we've got, for the outer ring, then there'll be 2 pieces which are the same width as this finished block once it's done, and 2 pieces slightly longer, again a little bit of margin for error. So I'll start piecing these together. This one, these 2 pieces first, then those 2, then trim it using the tool, and then join these 2, and then finally these 2, and then trim it to give you the final unit. So it's time for me to Hello, boy. What? What? What are you wagging that thing for? So we're going to make the final trim now. So make sure that's lined up. That's done. Put the blade away. Put the rubbish in the bin. Template in the box. Now we can go and pin these on the wall. One and two. Here's my finished Storm at Sea double diamond version, and it's just waiting now for me to decide on the colours for the final borders and binding, but I'm really pleased with it. So this one was made using the Calm Storm at Sea 10-inch set and in the double diamond layout, and I hope you can all give it a go if you've got the template set. So that's my version. Come in for a closer look. Don't look too closely at the joins because I'm sure there's some problems in there. Hope you've enjoyed this demonstration.